All right, everybody, what is up? So this video is gonna be a little different because I actually wrote a script last night while I was fucking plastered drunk. Well, I wasn't plastered actually. I was just drunk and I was watching these videos and it just really made me think. I'm gonna get into let me take a sip of beer. What all I'm talking about and that kind of thing. Basically, so it's not going to be the general rant of me like just randomly spitting bullshit for 20 minutes. This one might actually be pretty long because it's a long script, but maybe it won't take that long to read it. Besides the point. Anyway, this video is going to be titled my thoughts on MGTOW, which stands for Men Going Their Own Way, which is a movement where basically men decide to, drop my vape, completely ignore the idea of searching for a girlfriend or interacting with women in any way, shape, or form in order to attempt to work on their own goals. So, alright. Recently, I've been watching some videos by a guy named Think Before You Sleep. I really like his videos, and I watch them almost every day, and it's oddly enough, I watch them usually before I go to bed. A lot of his videos kind of follow the same theme, but he's definitely a very driven guy, and definitely very creative, well thought out person, but at the same time, I kind of disagree with some of the grander scale of the things that he says, if that makes sense. I think that this... I don't know how old this guy is, but I think it has to do with his age. His view of women seems kind of... I don't know how to say... I want to say juvenile, but I don't mean it in a mean way. I just mean in a young guy kind of way. And maybe unexperienced, or maybe experienced just with really bad women. I don't know how old he is, but he kind of sounds younger than I am, at least in his videos. So, in my personal experience and the wisdom that I've gained over the years, I can't help but kind of look back on my own experiences and think that he's making a few mistakes in his ideology. Now, what I do want to say on the positive side, he does make really good points about men bettering themselves, and I 100% agree that every man should 100% get your health together, get your career together, and get your wellness, your mental wellness together. That is no disagreement there. Those three things should always be, at the top of your priorities. Got a burp. That's professional, ain't it? Anyway, where I disagree is the idea of completely ignoring women in the meantime while you attempt to work on these goals. Think Before You Sleep speaks about women as if the vast majority of them are completely incapable brainlets that run on nothing more than TikTok videos and emotions, which is not entirely untrue, but continuing on, maybe there is some marginal truth to this, but at the same time, making these assumptions can be extremely dangerous to your mating possibilities. Even if 80% of the women you communicate with are damaged, unintelligent, poor communicators, shallow, or even just downright unbearable, you can't fucking stand the idea of talking to them for more than 5 minutes. If you close yourself off to the other 20%... that you could work out a relationship with, you could say 9. I don't care what percentage you use. If you close them all off, you can very easily just fuck yourself in the long run completely. Finding that 20, 10, 5% of women that can be acceptable mates is part of the journey as a man. It is part of your greatest triumphs, right alongside furthering your career, physical, and mental well-being. I know this is one of the most mentally and emotionally exhausting quests you can go on, but finding the right woman can help you grow in pretty much all those areas at a much accelerated rate compared to doing them all by yourself. You're not going to ever understand working hard until you're working hard for your family. You're not ever going to understand trying to keep yourself in good health until you understand the concept of keeping yourself in good health so that you can take care of your family. Because when you are by yourself, you only have yourself to lose. Nothing relies on you. Therefore, this is why most men with families typically are a lot more driven than the single men that run around. They're like, well, if I don't go to the gym today, I'm not losing anything. If I call out of work, my bills are still paid. Like, I don't have to send my kids to private school. I don't have any kids. I'm fucking Mr. Men Go Their Own Way. Anyway, on top of this, if you spend 10 years completely solo doing this Men Go Their Own Way thing, by the time you decide to start trying to court women again, you will be extremely rusty in the manner and likely very arrogant, and assuming your pedigree alone means now you deserve a top-tier mate, which what I mean by that is, let's say, as Think Before You Sleep would say, that you've achieved, obviously you can't change your height, but let's just say like now you are 6 foot tall with a 6-figure salary and a 6-pack. So now you think, more than likely, by the time you get to this point, if you get there, most of you will not ever be that perfect. That's just a fact of life. But let's say you are. You're going to assume that women should just more or less bow down at your feet, and that there is no reason why a woman wouldn't like you because you make money, you're in shape, and you're tall, or whatever. Like, you're not taking in your own personality at all, which is a problem because, believe it or not, good women care about your personality. Shitty women do not. So, segueing into that, the higher tiers of women are not stupid, and they will not look at you simply for your pedigree and say, yes, this guy's in shape, has a good job, he's smart, I'm now going to let him impregnate me and have 9 kids. The ones that do have that mindset, that are willing to be with you simply for your standard pedigree, are typically some of the worst ones that you can be with, because they are only looking at you for your pedigree and are not concerned with your personality, your interest, or anything that actually has to do with spending a life with you, which is the end goal. You want a woman that likes you for you. You don't want a woman that likes you because you have a 6-pack. You don't want a woman that likes you because you're rich. You don't want a woman that likes you because you're tall. These women are typically some of the worst ones, which I think me and him would probably agree on that, honestly. And this isn't necessarily an attack on him. Like I said, he makes good videos. I can't help but watch him and think, man, this guy is a smart guy, but it's just he's a little bit off in some areas, in my opinion. Anyway, continuing on, we're going to get on to me personally and where I'm at in life. Everybody knows me, knows that I have a pretty happy family, and everybody's proud of me, and I appreciate that, and I get a lot of love from my friends, and by friends, I mean even my internet friends. In my personal experience, I met my fiance on Tinder, what even I myself consider to be a true cesspool for dating on both the male and female sides. Either way, being in my early 20s and pretty much the most antisocial guy ever. I just come home from work and play video games. I don't like to go out. I barely hang out with my friends in real life. It's just how I've always been. I like to be by myself most of the time. So anyway, I calculated this to be where I had the greatest chance for finding a girlfriend, and hopefully a nice girl, which sounds crazy, I know, but the way I figured it is, even if 99% of them were horrible, somewhere in that hellhole of an app, if I could just find that 1%, then I would gain success. So after roughly a year of being single, having some admittedly pointless and hollow hookups, I'm not the ugliest guy in the world, so women do want to have sex with me randomly for no reason at all. Anyway, I met my now fiance on Tinder and struck up a conversation. Cheyenne was always very nice and keen to reply, which was an automatic plus in my book compared to my last experience. Most girls think it's cute and funny to not reply to you. If a girl doesn't bother to talk to me, I would just consider her to not really be worth my time, and I will not bother with her because I'm not playing games. That's just how I am. Anyway, continuing on, I could tell that she had a rough past and was not really sure why I was interested in her, be it for a hookup or a relationship. You never know these things with Tinder. You don't know on a girl's side. They don't know if you want to date them or if you're just trying to fuck them. So that's always hard for them too. But she was interested in me either way. So that's something we could work off of. I had already, at 24 years old, set aside the idea of finding the perfect virgin trad wife that I see so many of these young guys on Instagram dreaming of. That is more or less a pipe dream unless you are raised in church and you can find another girl that is raised in church and that's just as pure as can be, but you better be right there with her. If that's not you, you better throw that idea away because you're basically trying to buy wine with a beer budget. Anyway, I found Cheyenne to be a pretty good opportunity for a match that I've been seeking. Like I said, this is all keeping in mind that I'm not a perfect angel. I have raised a lot of fucking hell in my day. And it is important that if you're going to break down a woman's flaws and strengths, you also need to look at yourself and figure out what your flaws and strengths are. If you're not perfect, you can't expect them to be perfect. It just does not work that way. It is honestly plain out unfair. So, let's see. One of the biggest red flags for Cheyenne was that at 21, she was a single mother with a 2-year-old child, meaning that she got pregnant at 18. A lot of guys would automatically 100% log off and just move on to the next. But me being who I am and at my age, I decided that I would just wait it out and see. I was not 100% against the idea of being a stepdad. I've never tried it before, so I figured I'd check it out. Let me take a sip of beer. Anyway, about a month after casually talking to each other, following one another on Instagram, I was already a pretty popular, I'm not super popular, but I have a good following. Anyway, pretty popular shit poster by then, so that's odd enough on my part. We had a pretty good friendship going with a little bit of flirting. Nothing crazy. At this point, I didn't really ever make any attempts to go on a date. I don't know if there was a reason behind that or if it was just me being antisocial or if I thought that I needed more time to sit around and kind of like think about it. I don't know that. But anyway, shortly after that, Cheyenne got a boyfriend. This guy was a dude that she knew in real life through friends or high school or some shit like that. He seemed like a nice enough guy. Therefore, I kept my distance. They dated for around 6 months, and during that time, Cheyenne and I would talk once in a while, but I never ever flirted with her while she had a boyfriend because I'm not about that. Personally, if I have a girlfriend, I don't even want them talking to other guys at all. I don't care if they're the fucking friend. If he ain't your dad or like your grandpa or something or Jesus, I don't want you talking to him because in my head, men typically only have one reason to talk to a woman, and that's because they're horny. And that's what, looking back, I realize now that every time I ever casually talked to a woman, it was just because I wanted to have sex with them. That's just the truth. Now that me and Cheyenne are together, I have basically 0 female friends. Me and girls typically don't share the same interests or anything like that. Therefore, thinking in that respect, I don't want my girlfriend talking to any guys because they're not interested in anything other than what's between her legs. So, anyway, eventually they broke up. After they broke up, we happened to hang out, and things went really well. Fast forward, I pretty quickly adjusted to the idea of being a stepdad because Hazel's biological dad is to be nice, we'll just say he's more or less out of the picture. And like I said, that is really fucking sugarcoating it. The relationship very quickly blossomed, and even though Cheyenne was not the perfect trad wife when I met her, she did have a lot of potential. With me being the way that I am, as far as I am very adamant about wearing the pants, I guess is what you would say, she quickly changed and molded herself into that traditional role. Now, she's still not political, although she knows my adverse and what some people would call quote-unquote extreme views. She still watches TikToks, and she even recently watched the Twilight series, even as I constantly softly shamed her for it. But now in the present, we are engaged. She's pregnant with my child. Everything's going well. She makes me breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, cleans the house, takes care of the kids, the dogs. Even though it's hard for me to process, she really doesn't ever challenge me. Or actually, she often challenges me on my own shortcomings as a person. It's difficult for me to process and respond to her complaints because I tend to be very stubborn. Although I'm not sure if I'd call it stubbornness, as much as most of my shortcomings are hardwired into who I am as a person, if this makes sense. For example, there are days where Cheyenne will be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Yet, for whatever reason, can't bring myself to so much as simply give her a compliment. I don't know why I'm that way, but that's a flaw of mine. And typically when I do compliment, it comes out as kind of awkward and almost like robotic. But that's, like I said, just something about me. But anyway, in conclusion, I think it can be very self-damaging to abandon women altogether. If I would have taken that mindset that this guy is talking about, I would have never even gave her the first chance, and I would not be as content with my life as I am now, if that makes sense. You can be the greatest single guy on earth, and you will never, ever, ever feel as fulfilled with a man who actually has a family to work and fight for. You'll never feel the happiness of reproducing, which is one of the greatest feelings you'll ever get, is when you find out that your significant other that you care about is pregnant. You'll never get the real red pill, that is having someone that truly loves you tell you to your face what your real flaws are and what you need to work on. A lot of these guys talk about how much they like hard truths, yet at the same time, they will, the first time they ever get criticized by somebody, they will just get mad and block them or whatever because they can't actually take a real hard truth about, hey man, you're fat and ugly and you're probably not going to date fucking Veronica, so you need to start thinking about what your real options are. And it was like, no, I'm gonna block you. I'm just gonna go to the gym and read a book, and then women will like me and they'll want to hear about all my political opinions. It doesn't work that way. When you get with a girl that actually cares about you and she comes to you and is like, hey, you're a fucking idiot sometimes, you know that? That's the real red pill, even if you do just turn around and tell her she's a fucking idiot. But anyway, whether you're religious or not, man and woman are made to be together and to grow together. It's a balance that only a man and woman can give each other. Trying to go it alone is very likely to just let you grow way too far in the wrong direction and to be too arrogant to ever take any criticism. because you're too successful solo to believe that you can do anything wrong. Pride is a sin. And I mean, I'm not talking about like general, but I mean people that are too prideful in themselves to ever reflect on themselves and ever realize you can't. I guess I'm gonna have to get a little bit religious here, but you can't even reflect on your own sins if you're so proud of yourself that you can't accept the fact that there is a chance that you might do something wrong once in a while. But anyway, I don't know how this video went. I kind of mixed in the script with my own personal commentary, and I hope that everybody enjoyed it. So that's my take on everything, and any criticisms or opinions or conversations you guys want to have in the comments, I'm more than welcome to all of it. If the video makes no fucking sense, just say, hey, this sucked, didn't make any sense. But anyway, I appreciate all of you for watching and always liking the videos and commenting and being supportive. And in my final postscript, don't write all women off just because you had a few bad experiences. Writing women off is only going to hurt you in the end. You should always keep trying. Always keep trying. Just because with anything, just because you can't bench press 315 pounds today, if you quit trying, you're never going to bench press 315 pounds. But if you come in every day to the gym, maybe you'll still never bench press 315, but hey, maybe you'll get 280, and then you can still be kind of proud of yourself because maybe you didn't get to the goal you wanted, but you're at somewhere where you're the strongest that you can be, you know what I mean? So that's the best way I can put it, and I really don't agree with the men go their own way movement. I think that it's just guys that are very frustrated with women and just decide that they're done with it altogether, which, like I said, I understand that, but I just think it's wrong. Anyway, see you guys in the next video.